So today we're going to go over the rules of bridge. Bridge has a lot of things that are, I'm going to be teaching you a lot of things that are advice. This is what I suggest you do. There are some things called conventions, which are like many people have agreed that this is how they want to play the game, but it's not an actual rule, and you have a choice not to play it that way. Some people play it that way, some people don't. Those are not rules. What you're learning today are the rules. Whether you go play here or you play in Africa, this is the way it's going to be played. Okay. And the first rule of bridge is that it's a game for 4 people. You cannot play bridge with 5. You cannot play bridge with 3. You have to have 4 people. And they're going to be seated. You know those card tables you have folded up in your closet? They can also be called bridge tables because they're nice square tables and they're made to be playing bridge. Bridge, by the way, is the most popular and oldest card game that we have. So that's why we can name a piece of furniture after a card game, because it's a very big deal. And the four people are all given positions, north, south, east, and west.
Okay.
If you look in Newsday, any day but Tuesday, you'll see a bridge column. You may not understand what it means at this point, but you'll see that there are 4 hands, north, south, east, and west. If you look at north, when they look straight across the table, they see south. And west looks across the table and sees east. Well, when west sees east, she's looking at her partner. Partnership is a big deal in bridge. You're going to work with your partner as a team. The other 2 people, they're your enemies. They're your opponents. You're going to do whatever you can to keep them from being successful while you and your partner are going to work together to be successful. And how do you be successful in bridge? The name of the game. Your number 1, you know, like in Mission Impossible, they said, Mr. Phelps, your mission is, your number 1 goal in bridge is to make tricks. Let's talk about what a trick is. Somebody, we'll learn who, is going to lead a card. So if you're taking notes, leading means the first person to put the card down on the table. So Linda, I'm looking at you. So I'm going to say Linda leads a card. She puts a 2 of diamonds down on the table. There are 3 other people that are going to play a card, or people playing bridge. Each person is going to play a card in the same suit that Linda led. If she leads a diamond, you have to play a diamond. It's called following suit. It's in number 3 on the list of rules. That is a rule. You must follow suit. If somebody leads, remember leads is the first card played. If somebody leads a diamond and you have a diamond and you don't play it, you play a heart, and later they see you playing a diamond, they'll say, you didn't follow suit, and there's a penalty for that. So please make sure that you follow suit. And how do you know that you're going to follow suit? You got to organize your cards so you can see what you have. So when you get your cards, and by the way, you're going to get 13 cards because there's 52 cards in the deck and they're distributed evenly among all 4 people. No jokers. This is not canasta. So you have 13 cards. After all the cards are dealt out, you'll have 13 cards. You're going to organize them. And how are you going to organize them? You're going to take your diamonds and separate them from your hearts. Anybody guess why?
They're both red.
Because they're both red and you don't want to make a mistake and pull out a heart when you mean to pull out a diamond, or vice versa.
Right.
You're going to take your spades and separate them from your clubs. 2 black suits. So you'll have a black suit, red suit, red suit, or red suit, black suit, red suit, black suit. Within each suit, you're going to organize the cards from high to low. When you look at a hand of bridge printed in a book or a newspaper, they always have the highest cards on top. Why are you going to do that? Because you don't want to play a low card when you meant to play a high card because you didn't realize you had a hard card. All right, so organize your cards, count them, make sure you have 13. You organize them by separating them by color, by suit. And now you know, and now you're ready to play. Okay, so like I said, Linda leads that 2 of diamonds. Everybody follows suit. The game goes clockwise. Clockwise is a big deal in bridge. Everything is clockwise. You play the cards clockwise, you deal the cards clockwise, everything is clockwise. So if the 2 of diamonds is led, and by the way, that's west, isn't it?
Yes.
Everybody see that's west?
Yes.
Who plays next?
North.
North.
Everybody sees that? It would be north. That's clockwise. East plays the 9 of diamonds. Whether or not that was the right move or the wrong move, we're not going to discuss now. But she followed suit, so she followed the rules, right?
Right.
South's play is next. What do you want South to play?
And
That's diamond.
10.
10.
and
10.
Both cards
Ten.
would win the trick, right?
Right.
But you win the trick as cheaply as possible.
Right.
Save that king for something else. Now, let's say for the sake of argument, East played an 8. Sorry, not an 8, a 6. Let's say East played a 6. Who would be winning the trick?
North.
north.
North so far would be winning the trick,
Right.
which means that South would not play the 10 or the king if she had a lower card.
Yes, okay.
So let's say South had she had a king of diamonds, a 10 of diamonds, and a 4 of diamonds. And we had a 6 of diamonds coming from 2 of diamonds played from west. North plays the 7. East plays the 6. And South would play the 4. Can
Yes.
someone tell me why?
It's a partner one.
Because the partner had the
Okay.
7.
So this may sound obvious to people that know something about bridge, but for brand new people, it may not be so obvious. It doesn't matter whether you win the trick or your partner wins the trick. It's how many tricks you and your partner make together. So if your partner has already won it, in almost every case, you're going to just let them go ahead and win it.
All right, who goes first?
You're-
West,
you're
north,
muted.
south? Yeah,
Okay,
who goes first?
The bid.
all right. The first person to play a card is going to be determined by something called bidding, which we're going to get into a little bit
Okay.
later today and more next week.
Okay,
But after that first trick, whoever wins the trick gets to decide what card is going to be led for the next trick. So in this case, if the 7 of diamonds won the trick, North would then choose the next card to be led
No, it's the person to
from
the
her
left.
hand.
okay,
The person who won the trick.
Well, in this case, when I changed it, I had 2 of diamonds led, 7 of diamonds from North, 6 of diamonds from East, and then we said South would play the 4.
okay.
Remember?
If you didn't have the 4, you only had a 10 of diamonds, you would have to
Ah.
put that out.
That's a good question. If you cannot help but win the trick because that's all you have in your hand, and remember the rule is you must follow suit, then you have no choice but to take the trick.
Okay,
I have seen cases where my partner led the king. And all I had in my hand was an ace. And I had to follow suit.
okay.
Okay,
So I
Anne,
had to
what
keep
happens
my
if you
partner's
don't have a
king with an ace.
diamond? What
I'm
happens,
sorry, question?
what happens if you don't have a diamond in your hand?
Okay, that's my next point. You read my mind.
Okay,
If you cannot follow suit, the rule says, it's actually a number 3. If you cannot follow suit, you may play any card in your hand, any card. Some things make sense, some things don't make sense. We'll get into that more, but just know that you must follow suit unless you can't.
But isn't
By the
that
way,
the winner
ahead.
of the bid does not lead? It's the person to the left of the winner of the bid that leads, correct?
The person who won the trick leads the next
Not the
card.
trick, not the trick,
Next
the
trick.
bid. You said the bid. The person who wins the bid leads.
I said bid.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
No,
No.
we haven't heard,
Doesn't-
we haven't heard
All right,
anything
some
about
people
bid
heard
yet.
it, some people didn't. It doesn't
Okay.
matter whether I said it or not. I don't think I
Okay.
did, but it doesn't matter. The person who wins the trick leads the
Opens.
next card to decide how the next trick's gonna go.
Okay.
Tell me, how many tricks are there in a hand of bridge?
13.
13.
There are 13 because you have 13 opportunities to play a card. On each
Mhm.
trick, you play one card. 13 is a very big number in bridge. Okay, let me just ask you a question. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that East did not have a diamond. She's going to play a heart. She has no diamond. The play goes 2 of diamonds, 7 of diamonds, 2 of hearts. What suit does South have to play?
Diamond,
Doesn't it depend on what group is?
I'm
diamond,
telling you, the lead
diamonds.
was a 2 of diamonds.
Diamonds.
diamonds,
2 of
diamonds.
diamonds, 7 of diamonds, 2 of hearts because she doesn't have a diamond. What suit does South play?
Diamond.
Diamonds.
Diamond. It doesn't matter if somebody else puts down a card in another suit. That just means they can't follow
Right.
suit. It doesn't change what you have to play. You
That's a
must
package.
follow suit in the first suit that was led.
Okay, what happens if it was a 9 of hearts?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I
Has
don't
to
care
be a
if it's an
diamond.
ace of hearts.
How come?
She could play an ace of
Oh.
hearts on this. It would be crazy. Because she needs that ace of hearts for when hearts are led. Understand?
Yes.
You don't want to play a high card here because you need that for when that suit is led to beat that suit. But let's say she was like a little, and she played an ace of hearts. So when 2 of diamonds, 7 of diamonds, I'm playing an ace of hearts, I can't follow suit. Very strange play. Does she win the trick because she played an ace?
No,
No,
No, because she did not play an ace in the suit that was led. You have to play,
Question.
have the high
What-
card in the suit that's led.
why would
What
you
if-
start
what if
with a
hearts is
two,
trump?
two? Why start with a 2, such a low
That
number?
is beyond the scope of what we're doing now. Why you'd start with a 2 is dependent on the hand and dependent on a lot of different factors. We're going to talk about what to lead way down the road. All I
Okay,
want
wait.
you to understand today is the rules.
When you win a
Rules say
trick,
you have to follow suit. Any questions about what I've taught so far?
yeah, when you win a trick, you go around, you take the cards and do what with them? Just put them on the side?
Okay, that's a good question. So you're going to take the card and I should have a card in front of me. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's pretend my cell phone is a card, right? So everybody puts the card in front of them after the trick is over. So this person puts her card in front, she. They put it face down and they face it in the direction of the side that won. So in this case, North and South won the trick, right?
Mhm.
So I'm North. I'm going to put the card this way because it's facing North and South. If East and West had won the trick, I'm going to put the card this way, facing East and West. Does everyone understand?
But you put it in front of you?
Put it in front of you, right in front of you. And then the next card, you put that right next to it in facing the direction. So the first trick, North and South won. It goes this way. Then the next trick, East and West win. So I'm going to put it that way. And when I'm done, I'm going to have 13 cards in front of me. Some facing me and my partner, hopefully. Some facing the other side.
The way to count them.
And then I can count how many cards are facing me and my partner. That's how many tricks we won.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sometimes you'll see people who played bridge a long time ago and they just gather up the side that one gathers up the 4 cards and puts it in front of them. That's not really how it's done anymore. Modern bridge just has you facing the card in the direction of the side that won the trick. Okay, good? All
I
right,
have a question. How do you, oh, I'm muted.
question?
Yeah, how do you determine who deals?
Okay, so it depends if you're playing competitively or just with your friends at home. So let's just say you're playing with your friends at home. you can decide, you can just put out 4 cards in front of, put out the deck in front of you, and everybody picks a card, and the high card, that's going to be the first dealer. Make up your own decision. Or if you're playing in someone's house, remember playing in someone's house? Remember being in people's houses? But if you ever happen to please God that we get back into each other's homes, you could say, okay, the hostess is going to deal first. It doesn't really matter who deals first, but the person who's clockwise, remember I said clockwise is a big deal? You would go clockwise to see who deals next. So if North dealt first, then East would deal next, South would deal
South.
next, West would deal next, and you go that way. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
I hope so.
yes.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about these tricks. We talked about tricks. I'm not beating your partner's trick, and a high card in the suit that's led takes the trick. How do we, all right, I want to go back. We have 2 sides. I'm going to flip around number 5 and number 6, because I think number 6 should be talked about first. In bridge, you have 2 sides. You have north-south versus east-west. One side is trying to accomplish a goal. And that goal is to make a contract. We'll talk about what a contract is. All a contract really is a statement that you are obligated to make a certain number of tricks. In every hand of bridge, either north, south, or east and west have a contract to make a certain number of tricks. How they get that contract, we'll talk about. So let's say I'm north and my partner south, we have the contract. It is our obligation to make a certain number of tricks. And the contract says that in order to be successful in the contract, we have to make 9 tricks. Well, the other guys don't want us to make 9 tricks, because if we make 9 tricks, we get a score and they get nothing. So they're going to try to keep us from making those 9 tricks. How many tricks do they have to make so that we don't make our 9?
5.
5. Because 5 or more.
Right, right.
Because if we make, if they make 4 tricks, we make our 9. If they make 3 tricks, we make 10. We make an over trick. We make 1 more than the contract. So their job is to keep us from making the contract. Our job is to try to make the contract. The only way you can make the contract is to make the requisite number of tricks. Even if you have defeated the other side, if they have to make 10 tricks and you make 4, that's great. But if you can make 5, that's even better. The more tricks you make, the more your score is. But remember, you have to make the requisite number of tricks for your contract. So let's say the contract requires you to make 12 tricks. That means you can only lose 1 trick, right?
Right.
13 tricks in the game. So you have to make 12. That's a really hard contract to make. You make 11 tricks. Isn't that great that you made 11 tricks? The other side only made 2 tricks. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah,
No, it's terrible. You made 11 tricks, you get nothing for it.
All right.
Nothing, because if you don't make the contract, it's like you have a contract to build a house, and you had certain rooms that you had to get together, and you forget about one room, you forget about the bathroom, but it's okay because you have all the other rooms. No, you're not going to get paid for that contract unless you put that bathroom in there. So you're not going to get points for your contract in bridge unless you make the number of tricks that you needed to make. Okay, and I'm going to skip a little bit. If we could go to that bidding scale.
Excuse me, Anne, can you just back up 1 second? I followed the entire thing about contracts, but I'd like to know who or how is a contract determined? Who determines
The
that
contract is established through bidding.
Okay, so
All
we're
right,
not
and
there.
we'll talk about that. But
no problem.
Janine, if you're listening in, if you could get the screen share of the hand, there you go. So if you're looking at the bidding scale, are we able to move that up so we can see the whole bidding scale? Or am I just able to do that on my computer? I'm only seeing the top of it. Oh, all right, maybe we could scroll. Yeah, can you scroll scroll down so we can see the bottom of it first? I'd like to go down to where it says one club on the bottom. Okay, stop, please. So let's look at the bidding scale. Bidding scale has all the possible bids. The game starts right after the deal. The game starts with a bid. That means that's a statement that each player gets to make. We start with the dealer, and the dealer says a bid, or the dealer says pass, which means the dealer doesn't want to bid. Now, you might not know what the bid means, but it's a number and it's a suit. Or it's a number and the words no trump, and we'll talk about what that means in a minute. So think of all these things as one big ladder. At the bottom of the ladder, the words one club. Above that is one diamond, then one heart, then one spade, and then one no trump. We'll talk about what no trump means. Then on top of that is two clubs, two diamonds, two hearts, two spades, two no trump. Can we scroll, please? Then three clubs, three diamonds, three hearts, three spades, three no trump. Let's stop right there. It continues up to 7. Take the right column, stick it on top of the left column, and you'll have one big ladder where the bottom of the ladder is one club and the top of the ladder is 7 no trump. From the numbers 1 through 7, it goes clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades, no trump, then repeats clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades, no trump. If you don't remember the order, just think of alphabetical order. C for clubs, D for diamonds, H for hearts, S for spades, alphabetical order. All these bids on this paper, those are all the possible things that you can say as a bid.
Are certain cards more, a certain suits more valuable?
Oh my God.
Yes, in terms of scoring, certain things are more valuable. There are what we're going to learn next week is major suits and minor suits. But for now, just know that if you're talking about bidding in bridge, it means you said, may I go on? If
Yes.
you're bidding in bridge, that means you're saying one of these things on this page, on this sheet. And the bidding continues clockwise. Everything's clockwise. The bidding is clockwise. The deal of the cards is clockwise. The play of the cards is clockwise. And the bidding continues with everybody saying a bid that is higher on the bidding scale than the previous bid. That's important to know. So if I open the bidding with 2 hearts, whatever that means, you don't have to know now why I would say that. But let's say I say 2 hearts. The next person clockwise, if they wanted to bid diamonds, they couldn't say 2 diamonds because it's lower on the bidding scale. You got to keep climbing up the ladder. So if I open with 2 hearts, and the next person wants to say diamonds, they'd have to say at least 3 diamonds. They could say 4 diamonds, they could say 5 diamonds, they could say 7 diamonds, but they can't go down the ladder. If you look at the bottom of it, it said 1 club. Nothing is below 1 club, right? Remember, that's the bottom rung of the ladder. So any bid after that would be fine because everything would be higher than the 1 club. The bidding continues with everybody saying bids until somebody says a bid and nobody else bids after that. What they do is they say pass. Pass means I don't want to bid. So let's say I say 2 hearts and everybody else, all 3 people after that say pass. Any bid that is followed by 3 consecutive passes is the contract. So I say 2 hearts, whatever that means, pass, pass, pass. My opponent passes, my partner passes, my next opponent passes. 2 hearts is now the contract.
A question.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know what the hearts part means, but I can tell you what the 2 parts mean. The 2 part means you take the number in the contract and you add 6 to it. Stay with me. The number in the contract, add 6 to it. That is how many tricks that side has to make the contract. So if the contract is 2 hearts, the side that bid the contract has to make 8 tricks to make the contract. What if the contract was 4 diamonds? How many tricks would the side that bid 4 diamonds have to make?
10.
10.
Everybody understand it's 10? How many tricks would their opponents try to make to defeat them?
4.
4.
5.
At least 4. If they
When
make
you,
3, then the other side makes 10 and they make their contract. What
when
if
you
the
name,
contract is 7 hearts? How many tricks do you have to make? The side that bids 7
All of
hearts.
them.
How many
13.
tricks do you have to make the contract?
13.
13, all of them.
How many tricks does the other side have to make to try to defeat the contract?
1.
13.
Just
1.
1. That would be called a slam, a grand slam. Those are big, important contracts. Why, you might think, why would anybody bid that high? It makes their job so hard to make all 13 tricks. Why do you think they might do that?
They have a lot of
Strategy?
cards.
4.
No, if they have a
Right.
lot of
4.
cards and.
But why not just bid at the 1 level? Then they only have to make 7 tricks. Why would
get
they
more-
make
you get
their
more
life so
points?
hard?
Their score.
The score is higher. There's 2 reasons you would go up higher. One is because if you bid a higher level, it means a higher score. And 2, the other side might be bidding and you have to keep bidding over them, right? Remember, you have to keep going up the ladder? So
Yeah.
you might have to be going up the ladder. Like if your opponents bid 6 of something, you'd have to bid 7 to beat them.
when you're
Kidding.
naming a suit in the bid, are you now creating the trump suit?
Whoever asked that question must know something about bridge. Yes,
I
you
never
are.
played it, but other card games like this. like
Yes.
spades.
You are creating the Trump suit, but I didn't stress that because we haven't gone over what Trump means yet.
Okay.
All right,
Even in
if you,
the era of the impeachment, we haven't gone over what Trump means yet.
if you bid with 2 hearts, and I have a 3 heart in my hand, do I have to put it out? Or can I hold it
Talking
back?
about leading? Are you talking about leading a card?
I don't know. I
Okay,
don't,
so let me just go over this and then I want to get into the Trump suit. So the first thing that happens in a hand, Janine, thank you. Can you take that off screen share, please? I think we're okay. Thank you. Oh, the bidding scale was prettier than me. We should have kept it up. All right. The first thing that happens in a hand of bridge is the hand is dealt by the dealer. The second, and you organize your cards. Remember, you count them. You separate the red and black suits, right? You separate each red suit from each other. The second thing that happens is that the dealer bids. He gets to say one of those things that was on that screen that you just saw. If he doesn't think he should bid, if he doesn't think his hand is good enough to win a lot of tricks, he can say pass. The bidding will continue until somebody says one of those bids that was on that page, and that's followed by 3 people passing, and that becomes the contract. You with me so far?
Yes.
Anybody who, you just jump in and say, Ann, say that again, I don't get it. Okay, so number 1 is the deal of the hand. Number 2 is the bidding. When a bid is followed by 3 consecutive passes, it becomes the contract. We know that the number in the contract, you add 6 to it, and that tells you how many tricks that side has to win. Now let's talk about the rest of what's in the contract. There was a suit. A gentleman asked about, does that become the Trump suit? But if you don't know anything about bridge, you might not know what a Trump suit is. So let's talk about what the Trump suit means. Okay, the Trump suit is a suit that is named in the bidding. Like if the contract is 4 hearts, hearts is named in the bidding, and it becomes a very special suit. It is a suit that can be used to win a trick if you can't win a trick another way. So let's go back to that 2 of diamonds. And so West is going to lead the 2 of diamonds. North is going to play the ace of diamonds. You would think North has that trick, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. How can anybody beat an ace? There's no higher card than the ace. But what North doesn't know is that East doesn't have any diamonds. But what East has is a card in the trump suit, the suit that's named in the contract. Does anyone remember what that contract was?
Hearts.
I think it was 2 hearts, right? I think we said the contract was 2 hearts. So that makes hearts the trump suit. Why somebody bid 2 hearts, we will talk about next week. But hearts was named, that became the contract. 2 hearts, the bid of 2 hearts was followed by 3 passes, which means hearts is that special suit called the trump suit. If you cannot follow suit, but you want to win the trick, play a card, any card in the trump suit. So East is going to play the 2 of hearts. In a contract where hearts is trump, this hand
Wins.
wins the trick. Because hearts beats everything if hearts is trump. South still has to follow suit, right? So she plays a 3 of diamonds. Who won the trick? Contract is 2 hearts.
The heart.
East.
East.
Hearts.
Won the trick. If East had a diamond, could she play this card?
No.
No.
Oh,
Please get, if you get nothing else from this lesson, get that you have to follow suit. And that you cannot play a card in the trump suit if you have the other suit that is led. Okay. All right, so this is clear.
yes.
Contract was
Just a
contract
question.
was 2 hearts. Hearts was named as the trump suit. You can use any card in the trump suit to beat your opponent's.
And
Yes.
what happens if South doesn't have a diamond, but also has a trump suit and it's a higher trump number than the 2 of hearts?
I don't know. This group is very good because I was just about to say that. So you're anticipating. That is called over trumping. No, 2 of diamonds is led.
So then South wins.
2 of diamonds is led. North plays the ace of diamonds. East goes, I don't have any diamonds. I'm going to win this trick with my trump card and plays a low trump. South is also out of diamonds, plays a higher trump. Which means that if you're trumping and you think somebody else, your opponent might be out of the suit too, trump with a higher trump to keep yourself from being.
You open, and hi,
Yes.
sorry, I'm behind Peggy. And that
Sorry.
it's, for example, depending on the next card you play, they might have higher trumped because they want to lead because of the cards they have in their hand. Correct?
Right, right.
I'm a little lost. I don't know how the 2 of hearts became the trump.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
how did
let me
the
go
2
back
of
to the
hearts
bidding. Remember that after the cards are dealt, people start bidding. We start with the dealer, right? Remember that page that Janine brought up on the screen? And I said all those were the bids that were possible?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So for some reason, which you don't need to understand right now today, you will understand it, but not today. Somebody decided to bid 2 hearts and nobody else wanted to bid. So the person who opened the bidding said 2 hearts and everybody else passed. When a bid is followed by 3 passes, it becomes the contract. The contract is now 2 hearts, right?
Yes.
There's 2 parts of that bid. One is the number, one is the suit. The number we add 6 to, and that's how many tricks that side has to make, the side that bid the 2 hearts. That part you got?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now there's a suit named in the contract. The suit was hearts. If whatever suit is named in the contract, that becomes the trump suit.
Okay, question. When 3 people pass, why are they passing?
Because they don't choose to bid.
I have a
Are
question.
they allowed
Okay,
not to choose to bid?
again, why people pass and why they bid is not for today, but Let me
Okay,
just draw an analogy. You're at an art auction. Okay?
And,
You,
and one question.
can I
if-
just, let me just finish the answer and then I'll take the question. You got a paddle. I know it's a magnifying glass. You got a paddle in your hand. You raise that paddle when you want to bid on an item, right? And the bidding keeps going up and everybody who's bidding is holding up their paddle for a higher and higher bid, right? So
Yes.
there's this painting and now the bidding is up to $10,000. You really want that painting, but you don't have more than $10,000 to spend. So you put that paddle down and you choose not to bid. That's a pass, isn't it? That's like a pass in bridge.
right. So it's a strategy.
It's like you're saying to yourself, this is going too high because if I keep bidding, I may get stuck with the contract. If I just say, okay, 7 no trump, I just feel like bidding 7 no trump. If I'm left with the contract, that means I have to make 13 tricks. So I'm not going to keep bidding if I don't think I'm going to make a lot of tricks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, make sense? Okay,
Yep.
the gentleman had a question?
Yes, if I can't over trump, but I do have a trump in my hand, can I throw like a spade out? Because
Very
I-
good question. So you're saying you're out of the card you're out of the suit that's led?
yes,
Okay, very good. Good question. Remember I told you the rule was you can throw off any card in your hand if you can't follow suit?
yes.
All right, so let's change this up a little bit. Is that the gentleman that said he asked before about how we get the Trump suit and he says he knew some
Yes.
cards? Very good question. All right. 2 of diamonds is led. Ace of diamonds is next. East doesn't have a diamond, trumps with a 9. South has trump, but they're nothing higher than a 9. Would it make sense to put a trump on that?
No.
If you can't beat it, why waste your trump? So you could throw off a club or a spade. You could throw off any card in your hand. It's called a discard. It's like you're just playing a card because you got to play a card, but you can't follow suit. So if you can't follow suit and you don't want a trump or you can't beat the trump, then you can throw off anything. By the way, you are not required to use a trump card. If this person did not want to trump it, she wouldn't have to. If she couldn't play a diamond, she can play any card in her hand. Can someone tell me the only time that you have to play a trump card?
When it's led.
Good for you, when
Right.
it's led, because you have to follow suit. So if this person had led a heart, then she'd have to play the heart, but you don't have to trump. Okay, is there any question about when to use trump or what the trump suit is or how it's established?
If you have like 5 spades, do you
It's
have
kind of
to-
hard to hear you. Is it because my volume is down? It's because my volume is down.
Okay.
Okay, again, please.
If you bid, say, 2 hearts, does that mean you have to make 2 heart tricks plus the 8?
No, no. You take the number that's in the, remember, the bid is not a contract until it's followed by 3 passes, right? So if the contract is 2 hearts, whatever number is named in the contract, you add 6 to it, and that's how many tricks you have to take.
What about heart tricks? How many heart tricks? do you-
Irrelevant.
Okay.
I have a question that's going
Yes.
back to the bidding scale. If somebody bids 1 diamond, can you only go up the ladder with diamonds, or could I change it and say, I want 2 spades?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You don't have to bid the same suit. Following suit doesn't mean you have to follow suit in the bidding. It means you have to follow suit in the playing. So if somebody says 1 diamond, look at your bidding scale if you have it printed out.
Right.
You can bid 1 heart, you could bid 1 spade, you could bid 1 no trump, you can bid any bid that's higher on the bidding scale than the previous one.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter whether your opponent bid that or your partner bid that, any bid by anybody has to be followed by a bid that's higher on the bidding scale.
Anne, I have a question.
Sure.
What happens if, say, North bid hearts and I'm the next
What level hearts?
just say one heart.
Okay,
Is there any reason why your opponent would then go to 2 hearts or then you
Yes.
keep hearts? Yes?
but it's an advanced,
Down the road.
it's
down the
way
road.
out of the scope. It's not even in the scope of this entire class.
Okay, okay.
Yes. There
Okay.
are, believe me, when you leave my class, you will be able to sit down and play with beginners and you'll be actually able to play a hand of bridge. But you will not be able to play with advanced players because they will do things like that you just described and you won't know what it means. All right, so let's talk about no trump for a minute. Because did you notice that in every level from the 1 to 7, there was no trump as a bid?
Yes.
What do you think no trump means?
No card is,
No trump.
Trump.
There is no suit that's established as trump, which means that in this case, the ace is going to win because there's no heart or spade or club that you can pull out of your hand to beat it. High card wins.
Does that mean that if you lead a diamond
Yes,
and since there's no trump, everybody has to follow with diamonds and the highest diamond wins that trick?
yes, but even if there is a trump suit, everybody has to follow with diamonds. Remember, you
Well, you
have
were
to
talking
follow
about
suit
no
whether
trump.
there's a trump suit or not. So if we're playing in 4 hearts and you lead a diamond, I could have 7 hearts in my hand, but I can't play them if I have a diamond in my hand. You must follow
No,
suit.
I understand that. I understand that. I was talking about no trump.
And no
So,
trump, there is not, if you can't beat the card in the suit that's led, you play anything in your hand, but you can't trump it. There's no trump. There's no suit that's mentioned in the contract.
In actuality, is it harder to get 2 no trump than 3 clubs to make the
Okay,
contract?
so just a little bit of strategy. No trump is the hardest thing to make because you have no little magic thing you can pull out of your pocket to win the trick, to take the trick away. So let's say, for example, I'm sitting there with 10 diamonds in my hand. And the contract is 3 no trump. And I'm on lead. I'm leading the first card. I know you don't know who gets to lead the first card yet, but I'm leading the first card. And I play the ace, and everybody follows suit. And I play the king, and I play the queen. By the time I've gotten down to the queen, nobody else has diamonds left, right?
Right.
And my last diamond that I play is a 2 of diamonds. I'm going to win a trick with that 2 of diamonds, aren't I?
Yes.
Because nobody can do anything about it. They don't have another diamond that's hired to beat me.
Right.
So that's why no trump is the hardest thing to make. But sometimes you want to play no trump because of reasons that I'll get into next week. Okay, I think we went over everything on this except up to number 10.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question about the no trump?
Absolutely.
So in basically whoever's leading, that card that they're leading is, let's just say that's trump for the hand. So like say that the person led 2 of diamonds and then that person played the ace of diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody else played, or let's just say the next person played a king of diamonds.
Excuse me, whoever has some radio or something on, if they could please, I'm sorry, say that again, please. Somebody leads the 2 of diamonds. The next player plays the ace.
Right, well, say the next player plays the ace of clubs. Can the ace of clubs win that trick? Because it's
No.
Okay, so the 2 of diamonds is trump essentially just for that hand.
It's
kind of.
Is diamonds is lead, and you're saying that the suit that's been established as the trump suit was lead?
Some kind
So
of.
if there's no trump and if there's no trump and a diamond is led, everybody then still has to follow in diamonds if they can.
Yes.
Okay.
And you would never throw out an ace unless the only time I'd ever play an ace is when the only time I'd ever play an ace is if that suit was played. I'd play an ace in the suit that was led. So if I lead a 2 of diamonds and you have an ace of clubs, your ace of clubs does you no good.
Okay.
It only does good against the club. Okay? All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the dealer and I bid 2 hearts. I have to make 8 tricks. Everyone else passes.
It ends up being the final contract, right?
Right.
Okay.
It ends up being the final contract, right?
Okay.
Do I have to lead with a heart?
Absolutely not. First of all, you don't lead.
Lead.
The person who's, okay, there's the declarer. The declarer is the person who made the bid that ends up being the contract, sort
Yeah.
of. The side that is trying to make the contract, the side that bid the bid that ends up being the contract does not lead.
Oh,
It's their
okay.
opponents that lead.
Okay, and that has nothing to do with the bid of being hearts, diamonds, clubs, or no trump?
No.
Okay, thank
If
you.
the contract is 2 hearts, any suit can be led.
What
the person-
confused me when you started, you said you had to follow suit unless you didn't have that particular suit. And then later, when we were talking about the bidding, it seemed that someone didn't have the suit and the next card had a higher heart, which was also not the leading suit, but they won the trick.
Okay,
Internet connection.
so let's go back. You have to follow suit of the first card that's led of the
Right.
trick.
Right.
If there's been a suit that's established as trump and you are out of the suit that's led, like we had over here,
Yeah, yes,
they didn't have a diamond.
right.
So the 9 of hearts would win it because hearts has been established as trump for that hand. It doesn't mean it's trump forever. It's just the bidding declared hearts as trump because hearts was named in the bid that became the contract. The contract was 2 hearts. If the contract was 2 spades, it would be spades that's trump, right?
Yes.
So,
If the
so
contract is
the
2
trump has
diamonds,
to
it's
be
diamonds
established
that's
also?
trump. It's whatever suit is named in the contract. So hearts was named in the contract, so hearts became the trump suit. So hearts takes this. What I showed you before is that if 2 people are out
Right, yes.
and this one is out also, he can beat it with a higher trump. By the
So
way,
the trump has to be established with each
hand,
hand.
yes,
Okay,
right. You can, whatever, like I said, when the bidding continues, somebody starts the bidding and the bidding goes until one person says a bid that's followed by 3 passes. And that becomes the contract. And whatever suit is named in that contract is trump for that hand and that hand only.
okay.
Can I ask you, in the bidding, if you have like a strong hand of diamonds, for instance,
Yes,
and you put in 3 diamonds and then somebody
Did you
puts in
understand
3
that?
hearts to beat you, your next trick would probably be to go to 4 diamonds because you're hoping diamonds is going to be,
are you talking about the bidding?
yeah, in the bidding.
Okay, we don't talk about tricks in the bidding.
Okay,
Tricks is in the play of the hand.
right. But if I'm bidding 3 diamonds and then I get outbid because I have a strong diamond, I'm going to probably go to 4 diamonds next.
I'm not going to talk about, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about what your bid should be because
Okay,
it's not a strong bid.
right.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So what the bidding is, and we will go into it next week, is a way of describing your hand to your partner. You're saying you're giving information about your hand so that your partner can hear that, combine what you told him about your hand with what he sees in his hand, and make a decision about whether you and your partner together think that you should be playing the contract or let the other side play the contract. All right, let's talk about now about the lead. Remember that initial lead? How we get started?
And
Number 10.
And
Yes.
can I just ask
Sure.
a question about passing? Is
Yes.
the only reason people are passing is because they don't have the card to use?
No, again, we're confusing the play of the hand with the bidding. The bidding happens first. Nobody's touching a card. Nobody's putting cards on the table during the bidding. You're talking about what you have in your hand. After the deal, the person who dealt the cards is going to say a bid. He's going to say one of those bids that was on the screen. 1 club, 2 hearts, 6 no trump, whatever the bid is. And the bidding will continue until somebody says a bid that's followed by 3 passes. Once we know what the contract is, then somebody leads a card. But there's no leading of cards during the bidding.
Why are they passing is my question.
Why are they passing? They're passing for the same reason that the person at the art auction put the paddle down. Because they have decided that their hand is not strong enough to keep going.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Now we go into the play of the hand. We've had all the bidding, and now I said somebody leads. So let's talk about who leads. Number 10 says that there's a dummy hand and a declarer hand. If you've ever seen somebody playing a hand of bridge, you'll see that one hand is down on the table. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
One entire hand is down on the table. That hand is called the dummy hand. And the person who was declarer is the person who's going to play cards from their hand and play cards from the dummy hand. So what happens is somebody leads a card, we'll talk about who, and the dummy hand goes down on the table for everyone to see. And then declarer, who's the partner of the dummy, is going to make a decision about what card to play from the dummy and what card to play from their hand. How do you know who's declarer and who's dummy? The person who first bid the suit that ends up being the trump suit, that person is declarer. So Lillian, can I pick on you a little bit?
Yes.
Yes, I'm just going to pick on you a little bit. So Lillian's my partner. We're either east, west, or north, south. And I bid 1 heart. And the next person bids, and Lillian says 4 hearts. Don't worry about what it means. And everybody else passes. What's the contract?
4 hearts.
4 hearts.
Everybody knows that, right?
Yes.
If I don't hear you, I'm going to think you don't know. So I say 1 heart, next person passes. Lillian says 4 hearts for whatever reason, you'll find out sometime. The next person passes, I pass. My next opponent passes. Her 4 heart bid was followed by 3 passes. How many tricks do we have to make?
10.
10.
What's the trump suit?
Hearts.
Who is the trump for? Everybody. Everybody has an opportunity to use hearts as a trump card if they're out of the suit that's led. We both bid hearts. Who bid hearts first?
You did.
I did. I first bid the suit that ended up being trump. So I am declarer, which means Lillian's hand is the dummy hand. And it's not called dummy because she's stupid, because she looks very smart. It's called the dummy hand because when she doesn't get to talk, she doesn't get to make any decisions. Her hand goes down on the table and she just sits there looking pretty.
The
Okay?
declarer that plays the suits from her takes the
Who
cards.
plays the suit from her hand? Well, actually, I will tell her what card to play from her hand. So her hand is going down on the table and her hand is cards from her hand will be played in consecutive order, in clockwise order. But instead of her holding her hand and pulling out the cards like she would in clockwise order, she's just going to pull them out while they're on the table. But I'm going to tell her what to play because her hand is the dummy hand.
With the 4 heart scenario,
Yes.
the trump becomes clubs because it's next higher on the ladder?
In a 4 heart scenario, guys, what's the trump suit?
Hearts.
Whatever suit is named in the contract is the trump suit. 4 heart scenario, hearts is trump. 4 club scenario, clubs is trump. 4 diamond scenario, diamonds is trump. 4 no trump scenario, nothing's trump.
So
So can I just ask you, the dummy hand is from the partner
understand
of
that?
the person who won the bid?
Yes,
It's always the partner.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So
The
you're
dummy
playing
hand-
both hands when you win.
I'm sorry?
Basically, you're playing both hands when you win.
Absolutely, I'm playing both hands. So
So
the
the-
dummy hand is the partner of the declarer. The declarer is the person who first bid the suit that ends up being trump. Let me switch it around a little bit. I didn't open one heart. I opened one diamond. Lillian bid one heart when it was her turn. I bid 4 hearts when it was my turn. Pass, pass, pass. 4 hearts, pass, pass, pass. What's the contract?
Hearts.
Hearts.
4 hearts. How many tricks do I have to make?
10.
What's the trump suit?
Hearts.
Hearts. Who's declarer?
Lillian.
Lillian. We're in the same contract, but because she bid hearts first, she's declarer. And my hand is the dummy hand, and my hand goes down on the table.
Ah, so
And
you
she's
won
gonna
the
make the
bid.
I'm
but
sorry?
You won the bid, but she's actually gonna play your hand.
Our side won the bid.
Right,
That
okay,
way, our side won the bid.
all right.
So you say, okay, they won the bid. Someone from their side made a bid that was followed by 3 passes. That means they have the contract. With me?
Can
If
you
you
say
have a
that one?
partner
Can you
who
say
bids
I'll
like-
that
say that again. Whatever side made the bid that was followed by 3 passes, whether it was
Okay.
north, south, or east, west, whatever side made the bid that was followed by 3 passes, that's the side that has the contract.
Okay,
So
and
if your partner
No,
is
wait,
a
let me just
reckless
finish.
bidder,
Let me just finish and then I'll take questions. Then you look at the side that won the contract and you say, which one of those 2 people first bid the suit? That's the trump suit. That's the person that's going to play both hands. That's the declarer. The other person's going to put their hand down on the table.
when you say put their hand down on the table, do they literally take 4 cards from their hand and put it down all at once?
They literally take 13 cards from their hand and put them down all at once.
Oh, they put
That's
down,
before the first card is played.
That's right after the first card is played.
oh, they put down their entire hand.
You bet. So you're going to see, except for the person who first leads a card, everyone else gets 26 cards. Their own 13 and the opponent's 13. And let me show you how it goes down. Take the 13 cards. I'm not going to put the whole thing down. And you put them down in a column. So here's 4 cards in this suit. Here's 3 cards in that suit. Then there might be a few cards in that suit and a few cards in that suit. You just put the entire hand down on the table.
Is that before any cards are played?
That is right after. That is
Right
right after the first lead.
Ah, okay.
So now
The
we're going to
first lead
find out.
cannot see the dummy's hand. Is that correct?
The one who makes the first lead can only see their own hand.
Okay.
But they know something about their partner's hand because their partner would have bid. So they have an idea of what their partner has in their hand.
so if your partner is a reckless bidder, bids really high,
Yes.
and that's the suit, the declarer gets stuck trying to make the tricks for his partner who's the reckless bidder.
Oh, yeah. You very often have to clean up your partner's mess. That is why guns are not allowed at the bridge table. Really. I have heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard cases of divorces happening because married people were partners and their spouse bid recklessly. Okay, anyway. So who gets to lead? The person to the right of the declarer. Remember, you go clockwise. So if this hand, let's say north is the, and I'm sorry, to the right of the dummy. Let's say north is the dummy. This is the dummy hand. It hasn't gone down on the table yet because nobody's led. Which person is sitting on their right?
East.
West.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, what, right.
On their left.
If
West.
he's sitting there looking at you, who's next to his right shoulder?
East.
East is. Can you visualize that? East is.
It's not
sitting
his
there.
right, it's your right.
Oh, it's
No.
west.
His.
East.
Sorry.
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Sorry, I'm saying that
West,
wrong.
isn't it?
I'm saying that wrong. It's
Yeah.
west.
West.
It's west.
That's what.
I got myself
Oh,
backwards
okay.
here. West is
Okay.
sitting to his right.
Okay.
His left shoulder would be this way, his right shoulder is this way. So West would lead. West would lead. West would lead any card in his hand, and North would put his card down on the table.
And the declarer would play the
And
second.
then what would happen is West would lead a
Right.
card, and declarer would tell North to play a card that's on the table following suit.
Okay, got that.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay. South was the dummy, then East would lead. But South here is declarer. The partner of the dummy is the declarer. So South would tell North, play this card. What if North disagrees? What if North thinks that's the wrong card to play?
Doesn't South have
North
to
the
get?
dummy.
What's the dummy? North has no opinions on anything. North just plays the card. Okay, any questions on anything we've done so far? Okay, we talked about trump. We talked about the required number of tricks. Okay, let's go back to the bidding scale. Can I ask Janine to bring up that bidding scale again, please?
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Sure. Okay, do you notice, and I think this is fine, we don't have to move this up or down. Do you notice that certain contracts have stars next to them?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's actually 2 more contracts that should have stars next to them, but I didn't want to confuse you with that. Let's just concentrate on the 4 spades, 4 hearts, and 3 no trump. These contracts are called complete games. That means that if you bid this contract, bid this and make the requisite number of tricks, you get a bonus score. So bidding 4 spades and making 10 tricks gives you more points than bidding 3 spades and making 10 tricks. So anything other than 4 spades, anything other than a complete game is called a partial game. So is 3 no trump a full game or a partial?
Full game.
Full game.
Okay.
Is 3 hearts a full game or a partial game?
Partial.
There are 2 contracts that are missing here with as a partial game, as a full game, sorry. It's 5 diamonds and 5 clubs. Those should also have stars next to them. Those are also full games. Could you turn to page 5 in your handout? And let's see if these contracts are full games or partial games. 3 no trump. How many tricks does that require?
9.
All right, we're on page 5. What is the trump suit?
No trump.
And is it a complete game or a partial?
Complete.
2 spades. Is that a complete game or a partial?
Partial.
How many tricks?
8.
What's the trump suit?
Spades.
Spades. 3 spades. It doesn't have a star next to it. Is it a full game, a complete game, or a partial?
Partial.
What's the trump suit?
Spades.
How many tricks do you have to make?
9.
9. 3 hearts. Full
Partial.
game or partial?
Full game.
3 hearts is a partial. 4 hearts has the star next to it.
Oh, right, okay.
4 hearts is a complete game. That doesn't mean that you should never bid 3 hearts. It just means that if you bid 3 hearts and make it, you won't get the bonuses that you would get for bidding 4 hearts and making it. But that doesn't mean, oh, I'm automatically going to go to 4 hearts, because remember, you have to make 10 tricks. You don't make 10 tricks, you don't make the contracts. So don't just bid something just because it's a full game, because you have to have enough strength in your hand to make the tricks. What do you think I mean by strength?
Wait, Anne, excuse me. What
Enough of that suit, high cards.
And enough high cards. Yes, what's the question?
Well, what if you don't make the number of tricks, the contract? Do you get
Okay,
penalized?
so your contract is 3 clubs, and clubs is trump, and you needed to make 9 tricks, right?
Right?
You only make 8 tricks. You
Uh-huh.
know what you get for your effort?
Nothing.
Squat.
Oh, okay.
The other side makes points for defeating you.
Ah, okay.
So you get nothing. Like I gave you an example before of your playing in the 6th level, right? You're playing 6 spades. You needed to make 12 tricks. You only make 11. You made 11 tricks. That's wonderful, except you don't make your contract. You don't get anything.
Okay.
Okay. So for each one of these.
Just one other question, please.
Yes.
Can how do you get our scores -2? Can you lose points too? You mentioned.
You don't. That's a good question. It depends on how people are keeping score, but the standard way of keeping score is that you don't lose points for not making something. The other side gets the points.
Okay, so there's no risk in going higher as far as reducing your score, but the risk is not making it and giving your opponents.
Well, the risk is that if you're playing competitively and your opponents, by getting a higher score than you, win, you're trying to keep your opponents from getting a score.
Got it.
Because if they get a higher score than you, then they win.
I have one other question. If it's off topic, please stop me. What does the term when a side is vulnerable mean?
It is totally off topic, but it's a scoring thing. If you see it
Okay.
in the paper, it's just a scoring thing. What vulnerable means, and I'll be very quick with this because I want to answer your question, that if you make your contract, you make extra because you're vulnerable. But if you lose your contract, the other side makes extra because you were vulnerable.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So again, when you print out this this sheet that you see on your screen, make sure there's a little star next to 5 diamonds and 5 clubs, because that's a complete game, a full game also. You get bonus points for making a full game, but don't bid it unless your hand is strong enough. And you might say, well, how do you know if your hands are strong enough? When we go through the bidding next week, I will talk to you and I'll let you know. All right, we have 15 minutes. I'd like to go over these true false questions. Number 1, would anyone want to read it or do you want me to read it?
You read it.
Okay, because I have such a beautiful voice. True or false? If a player leads a 4 of spades, the player who plays an ace of clubs will win the trick. Please write down true or false. And then we'll go over it.
That should be
true or false. Yeah, we'll go over the answers. Just write down what you think is true. True or false. Number 2, you can play a trump card at any time to take a trick. True or false? Put it down, please. Number 3, the declarer is the player who puts his hand down on the table. True or false?
False.
Write it down, you said.
Keep it quiet. I'm gonna go over the answers. If you keep saying it, they don't have to think. They'll just wait for your answer. Number 4, East and West are partners. Number 5, only the declarer can see the dummy's hand. Number 6, the same person leads a card in every trick. Quiet. Some people just cannot help themselves. Number 7, the contract determines how many tricks the offense has to take. And the offense means the side that's trying to make the contract. Number 8, the trump suit is established through the bidding. Number 9, the play of the hand, the bidding, and the deal all go counterclockwise. Number 10, every hand of bridge involves the use of a trump suit. 11, the dummy works with the declarer to decide what card should be played from his hand. That was actually painful to say. That gives you a clue as to whether it's true or false. Number 12, the person to the left of the dummy leads the first card. Remember, this was the dummy, and look who led. Number 13, bidding starts with the dealer. So in a second, I'm going to ask for the screen share to stop, but I just want to remind you again that the clubs and the diamonds, 5 clubs and 5 diamonds, would be getting a star on them because they are also complete games. All right, please take it down. Thank you. Okay, ready, guys? Ready to dazzle me with your brilliance? If a player leads a 4 of spades, the player who plays an ace of clubs will win the trick.
False.
That is false. Because you have to, an ace of spades would win the trick, but not an ace of clubs. You can only win a trick if you play a card in the suit that is led. Unless
it's trump.
Unless you're trumping, that's what I just said, yes. Number 2, you can play a trump card at any time to take a trick.
False.
False.
What is the true statement?
Anytime you don't have any more of
When you
the,
don't have any cards in your hand.
You can only
Yeah.
play a trump card if you are out of the suit that is led,
right.
unless the suit that's led is trump.
Mhm.
Number 3, the declarer is the player who puts his hand down on the table.
False.
What is the true statement?
The dummy is the
The
person.
dummy is the player who puts his hand down on the table. The declarer is his partner,
Mm-hmm,
and that's the one who makes the decision about both hands.
mm-hmm,
Number 4 was a gimme, right?
mm-hmm.
Yes,
You
true.
know that's true. Number 5, only the declarer can see the dummy's hand.
False.
Everyone can
False.
see the
Everybody
dummy's
can
hand.
see it, yeah.
And remember, the dummy's hand comes down on the table when the person to their right leads a card. How do we know who the dummy is?
He first mentioned the Trump suit.
No, the partner of the person who first mentioned the trump suit. The person who first mentions the suit that ends up being trump is the declarer. His partner is the dummy. If I'm declarer, my hand does not go down on the table. I'm declarer if I first mention the suit that ends up being trump. The same person leads a card in every trick.
False.
Whoever won the previous trick leads the next card. Whether they won it by having the high card or whether they won it by playing trump. By the way, guys, what if the winning card is in the dummy hand on the table? Where does the next card come from?
The dummy.
The dummy hand.
Dummy hand. Whether it's the dummy hand or a hand that somebody's holding in their hands, whichever hand won the trick, that's where the next card comes from. Everybody understand that?
Yes,
The contract determines how many tricks the offense has to take.
true.
True. The offense is the one who's trying to make the contract. And
Mhm.
how do we do that? How do we know how many tricks you have to make?
Add 6 to
Contract
whatever.
level plus 6.
6, yeah.
If the contract is 7 hearts, 7 plus 6 is 13. By the way, that's why the bidding scale only goes up to 7.
Oh, because you
You
can't
had
go
level 8, you couldn't add 6 to it. You can't make 14 tricks out of 13 cards.
Right.
What do they say? You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear,
Uh-huh.
right? You can't make more than 13 tricks. That's why the bidding scale only goes up to level 7. What are we up to, guys?
Number 8.
Number 8. The trump suit is established through the bidding.
True.
Absolutely. Whatever suit is named in the bidding and that suit becomes the contract because that bid was followed by 3 passes, that is the trump suit. The play of the hand, the bidding and the deal all go counterclockwise.
False.
What is the true statement?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Number 10, every hand of bridge involves the use of a trump suit.
False.
Ooh. Most hands of bridge do. Most do. But you certainly can play a no trump. Number 11. This is the one that made me wince. The dummy works with declarer to decide what card should be played from his hand.
False.
The
False.
dummy shuts his mouth. If declarer says, play the ace of diamonds on that 2 of clubs, and the dummy is cringing inside, the dummy does it, and later yells at his partner. The person to the left of the dummy leads the first card.
False.
The person to the right of the dummy leads the first card. And bidding starts with the dealer.
True.
Absolutely true. Okay, we've got like 5 minutes left. Please turn to page 6. This is a sample hand. Now, if we were in person, which I wish we were, if we were in person, then I would have dealt out these hands for you. But we're going to deal with this piece of paper here, and it's got the 4 hands here. So if you count, you see each hand has 13 cards, right? And North has the ace, queen, 8, 7 of spades, the 9 and 2 of hearts, the queen, 8, 7, 6 of diamonds, the 10, 3, 10, 9, 3 of clubs. Notice how I have each suit arranged from top to bottom, starting with the high card.
Can Janine put it up on the screen? Sure.
It was part of your package.
We didn't get.
We didn't
Page
get, a lot of
6.
us didn't get it.
We didn't get it. I didn't.
Oh,
get it.
could Janine put it up? Janine,
Yeah.
could you put up page 6, please?
Give me a minute. I should, you got, if you put your email on the registration list, everybody should have gotten it. Let's take a look.
Yeah, please
Okay.
check. You should have.
I searched.
I don't
So
even remember how.
That's
total
what I'm
number of
gonna do
pages.
while I'm finding. I just want to let everybody know that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, for those of you who are having trouble seeing them, I'm gonna do a couple of printouts and leave them at the front desk. You can come pick them up. And if you need a, hold on one second. If you need another email sent down to, all right, here we see.
Can I go on, Janine?
Yeah, you can go on. I'm gonna share it now.
Okay,
It's
great.
gonna take me a minute.
It's page, yeah,
I'm gonna
page
go-
6. You just have to go through page 6.
You can keep talking. I'll find
Okay.
it.
So those of you that have page 6 in front of you, the contract is 3-no trump. And I have some questions on the bottom. And the first question is, which partnership do you think will play this hand?
North-south.
North-south.
Does everyone agree?
Yes.
Why do you think north-south is the partnership that's going to play this hand?
They have more
They have
high
better
cards.
They have
They're
more high
more
cards.
evenly matched.
And when you're playing in with no trump, you're very dependent on high cards because that's what's going to take the trick. When you're playing in a trump suit, if you're missing a high card in a suit and you don't have anything in that suit and you can trump it, it's okay. But in no trump, there's no way to trump it. So north and south have the majority of the aces, the kings, the queens, and you have it in front of you now. And I don't even have to pick up my piece of paper. I can look at the screen. Oh, we don't have south. There's no way to get south in there, is there?
Roll.
All of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we can look at, she's changing it. All right, we got it. That's
Got
good.
it?
That's good. That's perfect.
Perfect.
You're a genius, Janine. Okay, so,
Thank you,
so
Janine.
north and south have the majority of the aces, the kings, the queens, and the jacks. In a contract of 3-no trump, now you don't see it up there, but it's 3-no trump. How many tricks do north and south have to make?
9.
They have to make 9 tricks. And their opponents have to make at least 5. Do you see any sure tricks that their opponents, that East and West, are going to make?
Hearts.
Ace of clubs, ace of diamonds.
Ace of clubs and ace of diamonds are sure tricks, right? Assuming that somebody leads a diamond and a club. They won't get their ace of diamonds in. Let's say that south is declarer. Does south have a stronger hand than north?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, south has a stronger hand than north. So let's say south did no trump when north did. That would make West declare. I'm sorry, that would make
North
South
declare.
declare. That would make West the lead, right? Because North is the dummy.
Mhm.
So if North has short tricks and spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs, but doesn't have those two aces, West would have to lead a club or a diamond for them to cash in those two aces. At some point, somebody would have to lead those two suits. What suit would you like West to lead? What do you think would be a good suit for her to lead?
Hearts?
Clubs.
Hearts?
I think a club, but not necessarily the ace. Because if she leads the ace, she's not going to get very much for it, is she?
Right, no.
No.
She's going to get low cards. But what she could do is try to lead a lower card in clubs and
Yeah.
try to, maybe her partner has the king and the queen that she's missing, right?
But she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. She only sees her hand. Once the dummy comes down, she'll know.
Mhm.
Her partner, that she'll know at least that the dummy doesn't have it. But maybe she'll try to lead the 8 or the 7 and try to force out the opponent's king and queen and make her ace and jack good. So I think I'd like her to lead a low one. Can we just take a second and see how many tricks we think North and South are going to win? And then we'll break. In spades, how many short tricks do they have? Absolutely
Five.
sure they
Four.
can't lose.
Three.
Or
Well, you're looking at it. It's not going to be 4 unless the spades are split the way they are. But she
7.
doesn't know what's sitting in West and East. She's only she can only be sure about 3 tricks: the ace, king, and queen.
Mhm.
I think
She
between,
doesn't know where that jack is.
I think 9 and 10, if there's a good distribution, a decent
If
distribution.
there's a good distribution, but we're talking about short tricks.
Well, every ace and king to start with. No?
Well, I'm not saying what she should play. I'm saying when she look, if West leads that 7 of clubs, right? And the
Yes.
dummy comes down on the table, South will now see her hand and the dummy hand. And remember, she can take tricks from either hand, right?
Yes.
So she knows she has to make 9 tricks and no trump. So she can count on definitely 3 tricks in spades, right?
yes.
In hearts, remember, she doesn't see West and East, so I don't even want you to look at West and East. Just pretend you're South. How many short tricks does she have in hearts?
3.
2.
She only really has 2.
2.
Because either her queen or jack of hearts will force out her opponent's king. Then she has the, let's say she uses the queen to force out the king. She's got the jack and the ace. So she's got 3 short tricks in spades and 2 short tricks in hearts. How many short tricks does she have in diamonds?
1.
Just 1. Either the king or the queen will force out the opponent's ace, and then she's got the other one. So that's 3 in spades, 2 in hearts is 5.
Just over here on Shore Boulevard.
Please don't have conversations while your mic is on. 3 in spades, 2 in hearts, 1 in diamonds is 6, right?
And she needed 9.
And how many in clubs? How many short
1.
tricks does she have in clubs?
1.
1. Because either the king or the queen will force out
Yes.
the opponent's ace. So she's only got 7 short tricks. That doesn't mean she's not going to make the contract. So this is what your homework is, guys. Your homework is to take a deck of cards and to deal out North's hand, East's hand, South's hand, and West's hand. And if you've got 3 people,
And I'm sorry, but what was the answer to number 3 and 4?
how many tricks do their opponents have to make to defeat the contract?
Is that 5?
That's 5. And the trump suit is there is no trump suit
Okay, thanks.
because they're playing a no trump. So your homework would be to take a deck of cards, deal out these 4 hands, and play it out and try to, it's a no trump, so you don't have to worry about what the trump suit is. Try to make it so that South makes 9 tricks. We only counted 7 short tricks. See what you could do. And next week, we will start off by going over this hand and seeing how we could make 9 tricks.
So we have to try to make north and south do what?
Well,
Yeah, but-
south is declarer, remember?
Right?
Because we said that south had the stronger hand, so she probably bid first. So south is going to try to make 9 tricks. I want the lead to be the 7 of clubs from west. North's going to put her hand down on the table, and you're going to play. If you have 3 other people to play with, fine. If you don't, you will go around and play a card from each hand, trying to make south get 9 tricks.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether the tricks come from her hand or whether they come from the dummy, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's either north or south, winning the trick. And remember, whoever wins the trick leads the next card.